What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification on the YouTube, and follow on TikTok. So let's get into it. This one, we're just going to speak about the undercard for the much anticipated rematch between Oleksander Usyk and Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Now, this is obviously, we're well into fight week now. It's Thursday now. We've had the open workout yesterday, the grand arrivals before that. And this one, I'm just going to be speaking a little bit about the undercard and, what I think of it. And to be honest with you, for me, I think if you were to compare it to other undercards in this Riyadh season, it's definitely not quite up to par. But it's one of those where, because the main event is going to be very good, you can kind of put up with a not so great undercard because of the sake of the main event, because the main event is such a good fight, and it's quite a decent turnaround considering they fought in May. This is very impressive. This sort of thing is kind of unprecedented in a way, that you get such a fight of that magnitude and then you get a rematch so quickly after it, in the same calendar year. That's pretty impressive. So anyway, let's speak about the undercard. So we have Sergey Boachuk versus Ishmael Davis. Ishmael Davis, again, is a late replacement opponent. Decent fighter, decent sort of domestic level fighter from over here in Britain. I don't give him that much chance against Boachuk. Boachuk is, proven world-class fighter. But those two are competing at super welterweight. And it's ironic because the last time I saw Ishmael Davis in action was against Josh Kelly on the undercard of Anthony Joshua. Sorry, should say Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua. And he was on that undercard against Josh Kelly as a late notice opponent, and he answered the call then against Josh Kelly, and here again he answers it against a much better opponent. But again, it's one of these things where if you get that sort of opportunity, in my view, you've got to take it. At the end of the day, this will be another big payday for him, like the Kelly one was. So if you get the opportunity, you're fighting in Riyadh season once again on a big, very big card, very, very important fight. So you take it. So you got that fight. You then got Daniel Lapin versus Dylan Collin. This is a battle of the unbeatens. These guys are light heavyweights. Lapin, a very tall guy. He's part of Usyk's team. And Dylan Collin, I don't know that much about him, but he's a decent fighter. Let me look up his record here. I believe he's of French descent. So far, 14-0. Hasn't really fought any of the top names as yet. But again, he's a guy that it's a bit of an unknown to me. Hasn't really fought anybody of note as yet. Lapin is a guy that's got decent talent from what I've seen of him. The jury's still out, I would say, on both of these guys. Even Lapin, he's a guy that's at the very beginning stages of his career. So how good he can be, we'll have to wait and see. But I would be thinking going into this one, just my opinion, that Daniel Lapin should be able to win this and take the W, probably on points. Then we've got Edgar Ramirez of Mexico versus the 13-0 Andrew. How do you pronounce his name? These are always difficult. Novitsky. Also another fighter there, another unbeaten, who should be favored to beat this Ramirez. And these guys are heavyweights, and very tall guy. This Novitsky, I saw him at the Grand Arrivals. Very, very tall fighter. Again, I think, let me look him up here. I believe he's another one of Ukrainian descent as well. Again, he's another good fighter of the Ukrainian descent, decent amateur and everything. and he's youngish. He's 29, but he'll. I'm pretty sure he'll want to get a move on. So I think in that one you're gonna definitely gotta favor the new Ukrainian Nowitzki. Decent fighter. Again, is another one of those in the early stages of his career. So how good he can be, we'll wait and see. But he's certainly got the height, he's got the reach, he's got the dimensions to be, all the tools that you need. You've then got you've got Isaac Lowe versus Lee McGregor. Should be a decent scrap at featherweight. You've then got another scrap at featherweight. You've got Peter McGrail versus Reese Edwards. Again, should be a half decent fight. And we then come on to what I think will be probably one of the best fights of the night, which will be Moses Italma, the heavily touted prospect that gave pretty much all the top heavyweights. He gave them good work in the gym. I think he's been in there with Joe Joyce. He's been in there with Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, pretty much a bit of everybody. And they've all had sort of high praise for this kid. So, and he's also got that ambition to try and break Mike Tyson's record of winning a world title. I don't think before his 20th birthday, but just somewhere sort of after his 20th birthday. If he can within his next few fights, if he can get through Dempsey McKean and go on to get that world title shot, maybe against a Dubois or the winner of Dubois and Parker or something like that. If he could go on and do that, he will have beaten Mike Tyson's record of 20 years and I forget how many months, but he's still only 19 years old. You got him in tough there against Dempsey McKean. Dempsey McKean's a good fighter, from Australia. He's lost in good company against the likes of Filip Hrgovic, and we saw how Filip Hrgovic has given everybody a tough time. He's beaten Zhile Zhang. He's been in there and gave Daniel Dubois quite a hard time. So Dempsey McKean, he's been in good company. I do expect Moses Italma to beat him, but it's going to be probably his toughest assignment thus far. That's what I'll say on that. I expect Italma to beat him, probably to beat him on points. But who knows? With the talent Italma has, who knows? Maybe you can get to him and even stop Dempsey McKean. And I think that would be a real statement of intent if he's able to stop someone of the caliber of Dempsey McKean, who, yes, he's not a world champion, yes, he's not a world beater, but he's a fighter that is classy and he's a fighter that is good, and he's only lost to top guys. So that's the story there. Then we've got Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen, and Dave Allen is a guy that he's a guy that's been around the block. He's fought the likes of Dillian White. He's fought the likes of pretty much everybody. David Price. I mean, he's a guy he's been around for a long time. He's not quite journeyman status, but in a sense he kind of is. He's like that sort of, I suppose you could say, like a stepping stone status, that he's not that great. But if you're a prospect and you're not very good, or you're not what they think you are, like a Johnny Fisher, that he could find you out. And I think this is going to be that sort of test for Johnny Fisher, because Dave Allen is good enough. He punches hard, and he's the type of guy that will find Johnny Fisher out if Johnny Fisher isn't the real deal. So yeah, it should be an interesting fight. I expect Johnny Fisher to win this one, and probably win it inside the distance, probably stop Dave Allen. If not, then probably by points. But although in saying that, I think Dave Allen is clever enough and crafty enough to probably go the distance with Johnny Fisher. And then we've got Muhammad Al-Akil, who's 1-0 against Joshua Ocampo. You'd expect Akil to win this one, but he's only sort of 1-0, so he's at the very, very embryonic stages. Campo's more of a journeyman type, and you'd expect Mohamed Al-Akil to take care of business there. So anyway, that's my thoughts on this undercard. I think it's not a great undercard. It's just kind of a sort of average undercard. But I think because of the main event, it kind of sells it for us. It kind of makes it that, okay, I got to sit through this. There's a few standouts in there. I think Itama versus McKean, might be a good fight. That might be a decent one while it lasts. And also, you never know with guys like Davis and Boachuk. That might be exciting while it lasts. Johnny Fisher, Dave Allen. I think there's going to be fireworks in there too. So there's a few fights there where they'll probably be quite entertaining. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on the undercard of the Usyk Fury 2 in the comment section below. Until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out.